Well, it is Volunteer Week, and so we're celebrating volunteers right across the city and everywhere. I mean, we couldn't function without the volunteers. Most organizations wouldn't be able to do what they do if they didn't have the volunteers in our communities. So City Kidz is one of them. They rely significantly on their volunteers. And you may have seen the red buses driving around on the weekends for their program on Saturday mornings. It's amazing. It gets kids out and gets them exposed to things that they'd never have a chance at if it wasn't for City Kidz and people like you, Tom, who drive those red buses.
You do.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so impressed with what you do for so many reasons. I mean, it's a big commitment. You're up at an early hour on Saturday. You've got to drive those kids. You pick them up and then you take them. Why do you do what you do?
Predominantly because of the kids. Their smiling faces. We have a great time doing that, and just over the sessions through a Saturday, you do get a little tired, but it's a lot of fun. The excitement as they get on the buses and taking them back and forth to the theater. And just the experience of the whole thing.
Yeah,
you kind of wound up.
It keeps you coming back. Like you
surely
keep doing
does.
this. How long have you been driving the big red buses, as I like to call them?
Big red bus. Fortunately, it's been a year for me. I found out about it through another friend that drives, and rode along a few times. Saw where they go and the routes that they take, and that didn't throw me off. So we
you stuck with it.
Got an upgrade in the license and been doing that ever since.
Yeah, because I was going to say there's a bit of a process because you have to learn how to drive a bus.
Well, if somebody doesn't have a license already, they need to get one for a C class or higher for the school bus. It's not school purposes, but you need to have an appropriate license for that weight. And so once you do that, you get right involved, and then they get you hooked.
I was just going to say, and I mean, especially with what you do, because you are dealing with kids in the community that just wouldn't have any opportunity like this whatsoever. So when you pull up and you open the doors and you see that face, I mean, they just light up.
Well, they sure do. It's some of the kids, the kinder kids, are hardly big enough to get up the steps of the bus. So you hold your hand out and they kind of look up at you, and big smiling faces get up on the bus. And it's kind of neat. We just you're probably aware we just split, and the kinder kids go to a different location on Burlington Street for their theater. Which
is really great. It's so exciting that you're able to do that again and have the little kids together and be able to, you can just offer more once again to the community.
Well, you do, and it's just one experience I can share is that the first Saturday we did that, we pulled up to the area we dropped them off on Burlington Street, and the one little girl looked at it, and I said, "We did this just for you." She, big smile, looked at me, "Just for me?" And I said, "Just for you and every little one that's here." So at the end of the day, when we picked them back up again, or a little while later, I said, "Well, how'd you like it?" She said, "It was great," and she was still beaming. I thought, oh, that's what brings me back.
I was just going to say, that's what you know is so worth it, and the fact, and those kids really appreciate what you do. Why should people volunteer?
Well, because we're giving back to a very important group in the community. First of all, in this case, people can realize that it's not about them. When you volunteer, yourself being is what it's all about. It's for them. And the high that you get from it is really neat. But you are giving back in just the way that we're supposed to give back.
Well, I thank you. The community thanks you, and all the wonderful volunteers with City Kidz and all the other organizations. Thanks for doing what you do, and a happy Volunteer Week to you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming in today, Tom.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. For more information on City Kidz and how you can help out, you can go to citykidz.ca or give them a call at 905-544-3996. Find out how you can get involved right here in your own community. Okay, we talked to him a little earlier on in the show. Dave Gould is going to perform. He's got 3 great gigs